Oh, hey there. Welcome to the Close Friends List podcast. We're so excited to have you here. You've been added to our close friends list. Before we jump into this episode and start yapping and gabbing, wanted to stop by and let you know that you can find us on social media at Close Friends List Pod. You can find us on TikTok, Twitter, Insta, Spotify, YouTube, and anywhere else with podcast platforms. We're so excited to see you online and hope to be added to your close friends list. Let's get into this episode.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Close Friends List pod. Today, we have another exciting episode. We have a special guest. A little bit about this special guest. I met this person maybe about 9 years ago on the streets of New York City at 2 a.m. And we've been fast friends ever since. We discovered we bonded through our love of musicals, theater, but discovered that we had a lot of similarities and a lot of fave things in common. Probably heard me mention them when I talk about soccer because that's our newest hyperfixation. Well, not our newest, but the one we talk about the most truly most recently. And then I introduced them to Katie, and now they talk vampires, books, and all the fun things. So please welcome our favorite biddy from New Jersey, Alexa.
Woo!
Hi, everybody.
Yay.
Hi.
So happy to be here. I'm a big fan of the podcast. So this is kind of a little bit surreal, but I'm all about it.
We're so happy you're here.
Yes.
We've been saying we have to get Alexa on the pod. We have to get Alexa on the pod just to talk about any of our hyperfixations. And so here you are now. So
Right?
very
We can have a whole
excited.
series about each of them, but we'll start here.
Honestly.
We'll start here.
Yes.
I do need to know, you just said met on the streets of New York. What show were
Yeah.
you guys waiting for?
Yeah, so this is a funny story. So me and our friend Bethany, we drove from Richmond to New York one Friday night, got to New York at 2 a.m. because we wanted to see Hamilton be in 2016 before it was had won all the Tonys, everything, whatever. So we were we're gonna go get cancellation line tickets, it's by both of our birthdays. Let's, go wait. And so we get to the Richard Rodgers Theater in New York. Bethany, it's her first time in New York. She's like, oh my gosh, all the lights. I'm like, Bethany, keep walking. It's 2 a.m. We're in New York City. Let's go. We sit down and there's already maybe 9 or 10 people in line by the time that we get there. And Alexa was one of them. And so we are sitting there watching the sunrise, and some people start to leave, and so me, Bethany, and Alexa end up next to each other in line. And so we just get to chatting, and we were sat there from 2 a.m. until 7:55 p.m. Saturday when we eventually got tickets to see Hamilton. It was just so crazy, but we bonded over that. And then the next year we went back to New York, stayed with Alexa, saw many more Broadway shows, and it was just a fun time. But there were so many funny moments of the line sitting because Alexa got there at what time did you get there?
So at the time, I was doing an acting conservatory at the Barrow Group, which was on 36th Street. So about 10 blocks away from the theater. People in my class had done the cancellation line to see Hamilton. And I was like, I need to see Hamilton too,
Yeah.
I like history. So I was like, okay. And I like musical theater. So I was like, why not? So I was like, oh, I know this show's at 8. I'll get there at 6:30. My class ended at 6. So I'm like, oh, I'll just get in that night. And then when I got there, people were like, no, if you get in, you're going tomorrow. You're getting in tomorrow. I'm like, what do you mean?
What do you mean if?
What do you mean if? What do you mean tomorrow morning? Because I just came in with nothing. I was so unprepared. I just came from class, so I had a notebook with me or something. So I just sat there, and the 8 o'clock show happened. The line barely moved, and I was like, okay, I guess I'm just sitting here now. And this was before portable chargers. My phone was just I was on living on a prayer,
Oh my
and
it was wild because we were just all sitting there raw dogging sitting just sitting in the line. There was no chargers, no nothing. There was a hotel that had a musical right next door to the Richard Rodgers Theater. And so we would take shifts. You had to make friends with people in line because you could take shifts, go to the bathroom, like get something to eat, and they would hold your line. But like, these line biddies are like, sitting in a line is not for the weak at heart. I know it sounds like you're just sitting in a line, like it's fine, but there were arguments that happened, and there was one
exactly. Literally,
it was like, it was crazy because there was one cardboard wars. Like, we have to talk about it.
So right before Erin and Bethany got there, so this is probably maybe 9:30, 10 o'clock at night on Friday. I didn't really want to sit on the ground because like I'm from Jersey, like we don't sit on the ground, like, you know what I mean, like it's dirty. But then the production across the street, I guess, or some business had like cardboard they broke down, like put out for like, you know, recycling in the morning.
Wait, was it the Church of Scientology? Because that was on repeat.
No, it was not the Church of Scientology. They would not leave their cardboard for Scientology people.
No. Quick side note, you know that was across the street, and their like promo video was constantly playing, and we were like, stop, please. Like, it was
in a line in Scientology video. That's hell.
That's
it was
literally.
We were like, well,
like,
no.
So anyway, so there was cardboard, and I'm like, oh, this is somebody's discarded cardboard, like I could take it and sit on it, right? Allegedly that was claimed cardboard, and I almost got my ass kicked for taking some cardboard, and I was like, wow, we are starting this already. Like, I'm like, you could have this cardboard, and someone like had my back because there was something called line sitters. So like rich people who wanted to go see Hamilton, because so the cancellation tickets were either people who canceled tickets they already booked, or you got house seats that weren't claimed. And the house seats were like $46. That's what we ended up getting. So these like rich people would pay people to sit on this line for them. And like come in like an hour before, so like they could be there, because you like when
not even line, like it was like 20 minutes before, right. And they were like, hi, thank you, you know, like, here are my tickets.
But the line sitters, they kept everybody in line, because like some of these fans were out of their mind. So that's who helped. That's how I became friends with one of the line sitters, because she kind of stepped in and was like, it's all right.
Like, it's like, I do this for a living. Like, you're literally not gonna come in and mess up the flow.
Right.
We're not fighting for cardboard tonight.
No, not tonight. No blood on the streets tonight for cardboard. No, but those are the people you really want to make friends with.
Yeah, and we had one. Her name was Charmaine, wasn't it? Yeah, she was great. I think I still have her number in my phone. Like, shout out Charmaine. But like, she was an icon because she was like, just like chitty chatting with us, like would hold our spots, like if we needed to pee, whatever. But then there was this lady who I think was in the line, then had left the line, and then like came back and was like, oh, I was sitting here. And she was like, no, you weren't. And we were like, hello, just not knowing anything. But then she was like, no, these girls were here, not you, like, please move. Bye. And that other lady, not Charmaine, was the cause of so much drama, because it was just crazy, because like we made friends with, what was the
security
guy? Yeah, he was like the head of security who was like letting the people in to the theater to get the cancellation. He was the one that was like, he was the one who was like, you get in, no, you get in, like, he was the one. And so when we finally got like Saturday night, 8 p.m., he was like, okay, like, how many people in your group? And we were like, you know, like 3 of us.
Wait, Erin. Yes. Remember that person tried to cut me last minute? Like, I thought I was actually about to, because I have not slept. I was stinky. I did not have my makeup with me. I'm an oily person. I was just out of sorts. I was like, I was feral, basically. And this lady tried to cut me, saying she was there the whole time, the last minute. And I was like,
we were like,
are you kidding me?
Hello?
And Charmaine was like, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. You're going to get in. Like, Erin and Bethany were like, you're going to get in. And then our security guard friend, like, because he's seen me for like basically 24 hours. So like ultimately, I was literally the last person in. That was crazy.
It was crazy. Yeah. And so we just like, after that, we just like threw our like credit cards at the like ticket lady, ran up the stairs to our spots, and then we were like, we heard the first like da 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 da, and then we were like it hadn't sunk in that we had just gotten Hamilton tickets to see like the original Broadway cast.
It's like,
and like we were just like, hello, what?
You're like,
anyway.
for intermission to take a nap.
Oh, literally.
No, I cried during the entire act 1 because I was like very emotional that I got in. I was very happy to be there. I was tired. I didn't know if I was alive. Like
I was seeing Leslie Odom Jr. Like I was there.
Right. It was
man.
It was amazing. And then I made 2 amazing friends, which was like the best. You know, sometimes the cancellation line is the friends you make along the way, you know?
Literally.
Yeah.
Shout out Charmaine.
Shout out Charmaine. Shout out like that guy. Shout out Jimmy, who was the stage door guy.
He was a stage manager.
It was an interesting.
It's hard to like explain exactly what it was like, but it was a singular experience, definitely.
Yeah.
You are a part of an elite group of people that have seen the original cast, along with people that have seen One Direction and Five Sauce Live. Like there's an elite class of people, and you are a part of that.
Yes. The only original cast member we didn't see was Jonathan Groff as the King. We saw Rory O'Malley, who was amazing as well. But I mean, but it was the weekend before the Tonys, right? Literally.
Yes. Has said,
I have not seen Hamilton. I'm so sorry. Actually, I'm not sorry. I purposely did not see Hamilton because it was like the talk of the town, and I just could not.
You also just like don't like musicals.
I don't like history. I don't like musicals. So I was like, that's
tick tick done.
I'm like, I think I'm good on that. But I heard
I don't know.
Yeah, they're rapping too. Like it was a lot going on for me. I just.
Okay, you're giving the bit rapping
too. Like that was like, I'm like, I don't know.
Like it's not culturally accurate.
Imagine a country like Mayflower play. You know,
I'm sure one
Christopher Columbus country.
I mean, okay.
You know, like it's like that. Like it's just a mixed bag of these things that were thrown.
Oh my god!
Rap, history, musical.
And the history lesson will be next week. Thank you.
Yeah. Geography movie. That's
everything.
Oh my god!
I'm just saying, that's the vibe I get. But I love that it was. Great. I've heard it's fantastic. And Lin-Manuel Miranda, with his hyphenated name, I heard he's just a straight genius. So I love that.
Everything he touches, you know, Moana, and then the second one sucked. It's like, what are we?
Yeah, Moana.
The first movie was his.
Yeah, that was him.
Oh,
yeah.
How far I'll go.
Yeah, so he's
Is that cultural appropriation for him to do that?
I am not going to answer that. I don't know.
No, I don't know. Katie, I'm just kidding. I haven't seen Moana either, so I don't know.
Really?
I have not seen Moana. No.
That one's a good one.
I mean,
also,
not that
Hamilton isn't, but
kind of against animated movies too.
I know. I was like, what does Phoenix watch?
This is before Phoenix. Moana came out before that.
Okay, true.
I know, but my nephews are like obsessed with Moana now. And one's 3.
I've seen the Ninja Turtle movie at least 100 times in the last month, so I can recite that. Not a musical, but there is some singing. Post Malone's in there. He does some singing.
Oh,
yes.
The new one, animated one. That's a good one.
No, it's really good.
It's really good. Actually, I watch it every time he watches it.
Seth Rogen produced it.
He's in it too.
Yeah, I remember seeing the trailers. It looked all right.
So is Ice Cube.
Well,
it's a cast.
I like him in acting.
Io is in there too.
I like him.
It's
good. It's pretty good.
Oh yeah, she's April, right?
He is. Yeah, it's good.
Guess I'm watching.
I think.
Put it on the list.
Yeah.
I love Ninja Turtles, so I'm there for all the movies since 1990.
Well, usually we have like a question of the week, and since you love a good tin hat, you know, like tin foil hat, like conspiracy theory moment, the question is, what is one thing that you're gonna put your tin foil hat on for?
One thing?
You can say multiple, but starting with one.
I was actually just talking about this with a friend because, you know, in the times that we live in, everyone's posting an article about something ridiculous that some part of the government is doing or trying to whatever. And I want to get it as exact as possible. But anyway, there's a old timey law or something that can take away your voting privileges if like you've changed your name or something, or if you're not.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, and so a lot of women who had like changed their name after marriage are eligible to be have their voting rights taken away because of this like old law they want to enact. And I was like, you know what? I always thought maybe I was a little bit paranoid. Maybe I was like anti-marriage or whatever, but I was like, I always hated people changing their last name because I feel like I was like, this feels like a scam. This feels like there's something else going on that they can like do to do this. And I don't want my tinfoil hat theories to be proven correct ever, but it just seems like with this current administration that's happening. So
100% could see that. That wouldn't surprise me in the least.
No. So that is one that I can just think of right now. How about you guys?
Wait, Katie, did you change your name?
No, I didn't.
I did.
It was laziness. I was thinking about it, but now I'm like, I'll just wait and see how things shake out.
That's why I didn't change mine back.
Yeah, right. We'll get there. My tinfoil hat moment for sure is like sometimes I feel like we live in a simulation.
Oh,
like I really,
absolutely.
Sometimes it just like hits just right, and you're like, wait, like that's kind of fake.
Yeah.
So those compilations of 100%.
Every time, because I like am working. I have a new view out of my window since I moved like rooms, and so I see the like main road, and so I see all these people like walking exactly, and I know it's routine, but I'm like, are you real or are you fake? Because
that's the thing.
It's the same.
It's like, think about what you do on like Sims, right? Like the Sims game, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna eat breakfast, I'm gonna go to work, and it's like that is what I do in a day. I'm like
you walk.
We're all Sims characters.
Why you walked in there?
Exactly.
The commands were canceled 100%.
Exactly. So definitely, like sometimes it just I remember, and I'm like, oh my god,
oh shoot.
You're like, wait.
Yeah, and there's just like we wouldn't know because even like there's a movie that came out recently where like the girl's a robot and she doesn't know it, and it's like that is so possible, you know, like it's just like
that looks like a good movie.
Yeah, it was pretty good, but yeah, it's like
I can agree with that.
Yeah, just a mess.
100%. Mine, I'll have to say chemtrails. They're definitely putting something in the air when those planes fly by and you see the trails. I just know it because why else is it making that?
Yeah.
And if they're not, then maybe they need to. Like,
that's the tea.
A great way to
fluoride in that.
Thank you. Like, there's something in there for sure. And I don't know what it is, but I feel like it's whatever it is, it's making people dumber.
Well, for sure.
You know, like crop dusting.
Absolutely.
But it's just
crop dusting.
There's something like I don't know what it is. Mine can
real.
I don't
Maybe
know.
like docile too, because I watched a movie where they like gave like they drank something every day and it was like to keep them tamed.
Like why are we not just like busting out crazy? You know what I'm saying? It's because they're putting stuff in the air through chemtrails.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. I'm gonna be honest, I did not think of one, but I had the question and I said, anyway, thank you.
We'll see.
But honestly, I feel like, I mean, the birds moment, like that is
that's a big one.
I saw one fly past my window today and I was like, you're a robot.
Yeah.
You are sent by the government to spy on me for just
100%
working.
There's too many of them.
Too many.
The thing.
There's too many. Who are birds predators? Think about that. Pigeons, those blackbirds, who are the predators? How are they being taken out? What's the food chain there? There isn't one because they're not real. What?
Well, things eat birds.
Who eats the little blackbirds that you see?
I don't have a direct answer for you, but I know they have.
I'm gonna Google who eats.
Yeah. I know there is a food chain here. Because like geese get eaten, vultures eat geese
get killed by cars,
and vultures eat them.
No, that's the predator.
Vultures eat dead, so they're already dead.
Exactly. Well, yes, but they.
Okay, so it says the blackbirds, hawks, raccoons, foxes, snakes, and
raccoons.
I almost said hawks, and then I was like, maybe I'm tripping.
Raccoons. Those blackbird fuckers are always in the sky. There's no way a raccoon's getting them
from the nest and shit.
No, you seen a blackbird nest?
I'm not looking for a blackbird nest.
Thank you.
Now all of us are going to look for some blackbird nest.
Take these broken wings and learn to fly.
I was waiting for you just kept saying it, and I'm like, someone's gonna do it.
I was like, please.
Someone's anyway. The geese definitely give that energy because when you walk by and they just stare at you
and
they're next
sinister energy from a geese.
Honestly,
Erin, you are really struggling out there with the people outside your window, the birds outside your window.
Well, now that I have such a clear view of like so much activity, because like before I was just staring at the side of a building, and so I was just like, I saw like the family go in and outside of their house, but like that's it. But now I see all these cars, buses, birds, people, like, oh, hello, what's happening?
Speaking of people, you never see anyone bring in their groceries. Everyone has to get them, but when's the last time you saw someone bring in their groceries?
I did see my neighbor because I saw her at Kroger, and we both drove home.
Yeah, you saw her at Kroger, but
then we both drove home at the same time.
That's different.
And I saw her.
I mean, like, just think about anytime you're outside of wherever you live. When have you seen someone just bringing in groceries?
I see people like get their groceries delivered and then bring them inside their house.
That's LA. I mean, us regular East Coast people.
I'm gonna keep an eye out.
That's there you go. And I noticed that one day. I'm like, because when I work from home, I like look outside the window. I'm like just seeing what's going on. Never seen anyone get any groceries except the old lady across the street because she got everything delivered. Yeah. And then the one day I was really paying attention, she died.
Well, right.
And they wheeled her body out the house.
That's the one. That's the one.
I'm not going to watch anymore.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm minding my own business.
Not minding my business because the last time I saw
someone died.
Someone died. So
that's crazy.
So watch out, Erin.
Watch what you're watching.
Watch what
now I'm just going to be like,
be
every
careful.
time.
Careful what you wish for, okay?
Honest. Wish for. Anyway.
I love watching my neighbors.
Well,
I love people watching. It's like one of my favorite.
Stare out the window and Scott's like, they're going to see you.
I'm like, I don't care.
Sometimes like when they're making noise,
just
I will walk through.
I'm like,
the window. They have to know I'm watching this.
They have to.
We don't really have like curtains because like I just cannot be bothered to buy them. They're so expensive.
Yeah.
And I won't turn the light off. Like I'm just sitting.
Oh,
absolutely.
Serial killers would have loved you in the 70s. Oh my gosh.
Like, I'll look out the window and I'm like, Scott's like, at least turn the light off. I'm like, no. What? I mean,
that's even more sus. They see the light go off and then me being through the blind.
That's what I'm saying. Like
that's what my parents do. Like
fully committed to peeping.
That's
Tom.
so funny.
I love that.
If you're gonna yell,
that's what my parents would do when I would like. When I was like back home, like working in the dining room, and they had that massive window that like looks out into the cul-de-sac. My mom just standing there like, right in front of the window. I'm like, lights are on. It's daytime. People are walking. They can see you. And she's like, not watching. I'm just looking. I was like, okay, watching and looking are the same thing. I'm like, what are we talking?
I'm on her wavelength. I got the lights on, sitting in front of the window.
But I was like, "You're really watching them?" She's like, "No, it's just I'm just taking a break." I was like,
"I'm getting you binoculars, Katie."
I don't need them. Our houses are so close.
Yeah,
it's a mess.
Oh my gosh,
that's good. Good question. Good question.
That was a good one. But now I think we should just move on to some hyperfixation talk. So, like, anyone wanna?
Jump off?
Katie, you can start it if you want.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know where to start. So as Erin mentioned, Alexa and I have been connected via Interview with the Vampire, generally. But the other thing is, I feel like we are on different vampire spectrums. Because like you like Buffy, I like Twilight. Not that I don't like Buffy or you don't like Twilight. It's just different.
Yeah.
So, I don't know where to start necessarily. I mean, we could do some Interview with the Vampire talk, even though the people don't know. I know, but you don't. But the people don't.
Yes.
So
who's your favorite vampire?
Just in general.
Yes.
Okay, so my first favorite vampire was Drusilla from Buffy.
Okay.
She was really cool. She's like very dreamy. She was like kind of a weirdo. I don't know if you're familiar with who Spike is in Buffy.
Yes.
She was like kind of his companion, and she was like obviously evil in like a fun way, but like also like she was like, you could be like, oh, she could probably be reasonable as well. Like she wasn't because on Buffy there could be like very vicious ones and like more reasonable ones. But I have to say, well, I have to say, like, Lestat is the vampire, which is like
I feel like you would say the same, maybe.
Yeah, he's like the vampire. A lot of other vampires that are going to show up later in pop culture are based on the book character, at least. Tom Cruise's portrayal was not bad at all. I feel like it's the most fun Tom Cruise ever had. I don't know if that was when he, speaking of Scientology, I don't know if it's, we might be on there.
Bring it back.
At this point.
Rewatching that movie, he did like have an amazing time on that set.
What movie?
Interview with the Vampire. Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
He was
Cruise was in there?
Yeah. He was up with Brad Pitt, and it was like, Brad Pitt, go back, go home.
That's another movie. The Brad Pitt one, and
1994, and then there's the TV show now, and then Queen of the Damned, which
the Brad Pitt one.
Yeah.
It's with Tom Cruise.
With Tom Cruise?
And Kirsten Stewart.
What?
Kirsten
Dunst.
Yeah.
I was like, hold on.
Dunst. Sorry. I was picturing her.
Tom Cruise? Okay, sorry,
sure,
guys.
Look that up. I was expecting
me looking it up right now.
First. I was expecting first.
So, like, when people talk about Tom Cruise movies, I think of him as Lestat, and that's never what anyone means, ever. But that's, like, my Tom Cruise of, like, when he's blonde and drinking people's blood. Like, that's my Tom Cruise.
He had a good time.
Done and done.
For sure. I was expecting you to say Lestat first. I'm a little surprised to hear Buffy, but I guess, like, what got you into too, so...
Yeah, I mean, because when I saw them, I saw my parents had this, like, theory that if I was young enough, I wouldn't remember movies if they were watching them in front of me. So I did see Interview with the Vampire very early on, but like Claudia, the Kirsten Dunst character, was my favorite because I was a kid, she was a kid, and I was like, cool, child vampire is awesome.
It is Tom Cruise. Oh, I loved him in that. I didn't even realize that was him.
Yeah. Well, that's when you get lost in a role. That's like
my god,
the wig too. I mean,
that was good. That's a good choice.
The wig really. Me looking at this picture, the wig.
It did.
No, the wig was doing its thing. The costumes on that movie were great too.
It was a good one, yeah.
I just wish Brad Pitt cared a little more about what he was doing, because like it's funny, I don't like Brad Pitt, but he's in 2 of my favorite movies. He's also in Fight Club, which was like my favorite movie in high school, and honestly, in my opinion, Edward Norton could have played both roles. But anyway, Brad Pitt just finds himself in good movies and does not give good performances. Not to get the Brad Pitt stands all mad at me, but
no, we're anti-Brad on this podcast.
Okay, good.
Did you like Antonio Banderas as Armand?
Okay, those.
I know you don't like Armand, but like I need to know generally. Like,
no, this is the thing. I love Antonio Banderas. Because I also love Pedro Almodovar movies, and he's in a lot of them. Pedro Almodovar is like a Spanish director. He's amazing, and I like Asad Zaman, who plays him in the show. I just like that character. No. No, and
in the movie he's not good in the movie. Like he's so one-dimensional in the movie because they don't give him enough time. You know what I mean? Like, they spend so much time in New Orleans, and then the last like 30 minutes are like, we gotta get to France. Like,
gotta go.
Yeah,
no, literally.
So he doesn't get much of an opportunity. Like he shows up and then he's like gone. And you're like, oh, that was Antonio. But I was just curious, because I know you like Assad. But yeah,
no, but I don't know. That movie also just like that actually kickstarted. I think if I didn't see that movie, I probably wouldn't have watched Buffy. But of course, I was more of like a conscious being when I watched Buffy. So, but no, to answer that question, Lestat is the vampire. And actually, for research for today, I watched a slime tutorial of the Lestat musical, the failed Lestat musical that came and went in 2006 on Broadway. Because I was like, this is kind of a marriage of both of our hyperfixations. I loved it, but it's not good.
Well,
it was a big like I could fix him. I literally have notes. I was like, this is what I would change. But I think it was a very ambitious attempt. I don't think 2006 was ready for that.
Fair.
But no, it's definitely worth at least like watching a couple of the songs. Like Claudia, her songs are great. But like the movie, they spent a lot of time in this case, because it's like not adapting Interview with the Vampire, it's adapting the second book, The Vampire Lestat. So it's like a lot about his early life, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, we have to get to New Orleans. So it's kind of like the reverse of what the problem with the Interview movie was. But it was Elton John helped with the music that one. But I think ultimately what I think hindered the production of being like full-blown amazing like the TV show is now is I think they were like, oh, we're working on a vampire musical, but like, oh, it's not about like vampires like that. You know what I mean? They're like just hesitant to go full on into like the weirdness of it all. Because again, like 2006 is pre-Twilight, so it's pre that kind of vampire resurgence. It was like vampires in that period weren't like cool yet. It was kind of like just something like a weird little niche thing. Like Anne Rice fans, we've always been like the little weirdos on the fringes, and you know, but it hadn't really, vampires really hadn't went into the mainstream again. Buffy ended in 2003, so it was kind of like a weird lull. I feel like maybe if that play came out in like in the 2010s, it might have done a lot better. But also, it was kind of a mess, but it was like a lovely mess.
Like it turned into like it is sort of successful, but then everyone compares it to Twilight, and then it's like that's not good either. Because like 2000, well, even early 2010s, it's still so close. At this point, we're almost 20 years out. Like you know, it's so different. The genre has evolved. I don't know. But yeah, we were talking about this the other day where like I do feel like Anne Rice is a way better writer than she gets credit for, like just because she's a niche, well, not even niche, a genre author. Like she should probably be a classic author, but because she writes about gothic and vampires and whatever, they're like too out of the
out there,
yeah, which is so crazy. But I need to know, and I have a thought of what you're gonna say. Out of the books you've read so far in the Vampire Chronicles, which one is your favorite?
Oh, honestly, Queen of the Damned is my favorite because I just love the whole setup of it. Because there's like, we have to get to the big concert because like at this point Lestat is a rock star because he wants to get Louis' attention, and it's like so ridiculous but also like perfect because he would be a rock star for a petty reason. And so, but at the same time, there's problems in the vampire community. Young ones are bursting into flames. They're like, what's going on here? Like, what's happening? What, like, this is not okay. And in the background, there is she was played by Aaliyah in the movie. Her name is Akasha. She is one of my favorite villains of all time, who might also have
right reasons, wrong way to go about things. I feel like, but like maybe not like that.
No, I feel like if she just like had a conversation with somebody from this century, they could have come to like an understanding and be like, okay, this is reasonable. But like, because she's definitely like ancient Egypt she's from, so she's been
yeah that's why I love that she commits to that, and everybody else is like, my vampires are 150 and she's like, mine are 6,000 actually.
That's wild.
Like,
no, that long.
That's the thing. Like statues.
She became like a statue.
I would.
Yeah. I mean, what do you do?
Shoot.
Well, also like my favorite thing about Anne Rice vampires is like when they're sick of everything, they take naps for like 10, 50 to 100 years. Or like, you know what, I'm done.
They just like bury themselves and they're like, I'll wake up in a century.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
I
could do that.
Especially now, I'm like, some days I'm like, if I could just like crawl into the dirt and
wake
take
up
a nap.
in 4 years and I'll be
I'm
pretty okay.
And if it's not going good, you can go right back and
back to sleep.
Have a little snack before, and then like go to sleep for another 100 years or so. But I would say Queen of the Damned is my favorite, but I love them all for different reasons, except for Armand's book and Blood and Gold. I don't know like that book, but some of them are weird, as you know.
We hate Blood and Gold, but we disagree on the Vampire Armand. I liked his book, but
no. But do you know what's so funny, Katie? So when I was watching the musical,
did you get a new perspective? You're like, actually,
no,
I don't hate him anymore.
No. The musical makes him like a cartoon villain, and I was dying because I was like, it's so funny because I was explaining to my friend who's just a show watcher. I was like, it's hilarious how Anne herself doesn't write him as totally like irredeemable or like this like kind of cartoony awful villain, but a lot of adaptations are like, he is, and I agree with that, by the way. But I think they went too far in this one, and it was like kind of hilarious. But as an Armand hater for life, I was cackling. It was great.
I think it's lazy writing to make him like a crazy villain, just because when you think like for the Vampire Lestat or for the Interview with the Vampire movie, it's like they know they only have the one movie, so like I guess it makes sense. It's like, what else do we have to do with him? It's like he has so much happening in his life.
Yeah, but they all die. So like there's not context that's being given because it'll be spoilery and all that stuff, but he is not a good dude. I mean, they're all not good because they're vampires.
Exactly.
But he's just like, I don't know. It's hard to explain without being here for like 3 hours. So we're just gonna have to agree to this.
Another episode.
Yeah, right.
So funny.
Episode.
A whole hour and a half dedicated to our Armand argument.
Just like, and then
arguments, bring your point.
Yeah,
Debate time.
the Armand debate.
In this PowerPoint,
exactly. Because I love him anyway.
If you
and
were,
I can't wait for that episode.
If you were a vampire, who would you turn into a vampire?
Do you have an answer?
Do I have an answer?
Yeah.
Probably like Joe Jonas, so he could live forever.
Okay.
As a fan of the pod,
like,
I thought you were gonna say that.
Yeah, like someone I would want to live for a long time. Yeah, probably Joe.
Man, I don't know. I feel like,
and it'd be through the neck, not through the wrist.
Obviously.
Oh, it's all yeah.
100.
I immediately imagined you being like, "Hey, Joe,"
like an apple.
Yeah.
Literally.
You know, the best ones get turned against their will. So
exactly.
Done and done.
Sad but true.
You think this 20-year anniversary is crazy? Wait till it's the 150th.
Oh my god. Hopefully
he's still.
No, literally. Oh my god.
Like,
please, I can't afford 100 more years of this.
I don't have an answer for you. I don't think
that's okay. I just wanted to answer my own question.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she was like, "This is for me."
That is such a responsibility.
It is.
Like,
truly.
I even want to live forever. Like, because what do you do? Like, it does. Like, there's a reason they take naps. Like, what do you do?
Yeah.
And especially because you don't relate to humans anymore. So like you're just
like, oh, these
like Twilight where they're like interacting with people, you're like, this is not
you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't be going back to high school or
no,
that would be
weird.
crazy.
That's just weird.
Yeah,
so it's like,
I think I'd probably like change the world and then just go take my nap for a couple centuries and then come back.
So you're giving Akasha. You're like, let's do it.
Yeah, I'd probably like spice things up a bit, change a couple things, build some pyramids,
and then just like peace out.
Yeah, and then just see like, and then come back and like, oh, I wonder what happened after I did all that. What are the history books saying? You know?
Oh yeah, I definitely feel like Lestat definitely did the most with his time as a vampire. He like switched bodies with somebody at one point. That was fun. You know, we mentioned he was
to hell and back.
Damn.
In theory, supposedly.
That's the word on the street.
Yeah.
He met the devil and also was able to get the Veil of Veronica, which I'm not very religious. I'm not super sure what that is, but Anne Rice told me.
But Anne Rice said so.
Anne Rice told me, and somehow, you know,
I know I wouldn't be in the United States.
Yeah.
Like,
all
the places, all the 170 countries, right, Aaron? I would not.
93.
190 countries. The last one I would be in is the U.S.
Probably go somewhere a little, more north too.
Yes.
Less like sunlight situation.
100%. Yeah. Definitely not Italy. Too much garlic.
Well, you don't even know where Italy is.
Okay, fast.
I know where the boot is. I've seen the boot. I could find it. I could. Give me enough time, I could find it.
Yeah, with immortality, you're there.
Thank you.
You're there.
I mean, if I've been around since Pangea, I mean, I could be very confused.
Yeah.
Pretty easily. 6,000 years, Pangea, things change. Things move around, you know?
Yeah.
That's a very good point.
Earthquakes, the tectonic plates, who knows where anything is.
Pompeii.
This morning is just like Versailles. Just
I'm not looking at the maps if I've been around for 6,000 years. I'm just wandering. I'm just going around town.
Yeah.
That's fair.
But it wouldn't be the U.S. That's all I know.
That's fair.
That's what I like about Anne Rice too. Like when she is in the U.S., it's in like fun places like New Orleans or Miami or New York City. Like it's, we're
Idaho.
Yeah.
Well, just go be a vampire in Montana,
No blood source there,
but I mean,
Alaska, that's a good movie. 40 Days, 40 Nights. Vampires in Alaska because it's nightham.
Yeah.
That's where they would be, honestly.
Edward went there when he met Bella because he was like, I'm gonna eat her.
He did. He said, I need to cool it. And he said,
I wish I was kidding, but
I know that's real. I read the first book, but because like my friends knew I loved vampires and like, oh my god, you're gonna love this. And I read the first book and I was like, maybe it's a slow burn. Like maybe
I would like to jump into the conversation and I say I just read Twilight for the first time.
Oh my god.
At 30 years old and just finished it.
How was
it was not as bad as I thought it would be. I mean, it was still bad. Like, let's not get it twisted. Like,
right.
maybe 55% of the way in, I was like, okay, I hate Bella. And then, like, it just kept going on. But, you know, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
But she was whiny. So,
yeah,
100%.
You
The
know.
thing with the Twilight books, too, especially the first one, it's like for the first 400 pages, nothing happens. They're just like, they're like dating. And then, like, the last 100 pages,
barely.
Something needs to happen. Like, a plot needs to happen.
Yeah, she's like, oh, shit.
And then they're like, oh,
Which I think is interesting.
She's running with now.
Anne Rice
anyway.
never has a plot. We are there for the vibes only. You know what I mean? Besides Queen of the Damned, kind of, but
but they're good vibes. Like, they're good vibes. We're friends.
That's so interesting. Like, Stephanie, you could have just held on. Why'd you do the last?
Stephanie was like, I'm gonna make her hate Jessica and pine over this boy who doesn't want to be around her. Done.
Yeah,
that's the first 400.
But also, it's just like, there is something interesting that could be done there, because it's like, I understand, like, Edward was like 17 when he was turned. Is that why they go to high school? Because that's like when they were turned. Also, that's like ethically, why are you turning children? Like, I don't know about that. Like, do you know what I mean? But it could have been something, they could have had a cool, like, sinister twist if Stephanie was about, like, the horror of it all, but she wasn't.
No.
Yeah.
It's like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
definitely.
But like, if you, like, you know, tame little vampires that are malnourished because they don't eat humans and, like, they sparkle, like, that's fine. But
they're domesticated.
They're very
that's literally what Anne Rice said.
They're domesticated
domesticated.
vampires. Like, that's
She
not.
loves True Blood, though. So that's my girl.
Although I didn't like True Blood. It was
Wait, how old is Anne Rice?
She's dead now.
She's dead.
She's really old. Okay.
She died in like 2021.
But she's still here.
Oh, that
like,
was
I think she's still
recent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think she was that old.
She was like 80 something.
Oh, 80?
Yeah.
In 2000?
21.
No, 2021.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I heard just 2001. So I'm like, damn.
She lived to 100. Immortal, baby.
No,
80 when she died. Yeah.
It's her diaries. She's not even like writing a book. It's just her diaries. Oh, man.
That's what it felt like sometimes.
Oh my god.
Because like there was this whole thing that like Lestat would like possess her, and like, you know, she used to, on her Facebook, she used to write Facebook posts as Lestat.
Girl,
like
Facebook posts are crazy.
Oh, I need to look into this.
They're
amazing.
I love that she was like around like during that time, like, because like if you think of Interview with a Vampire and you're like all her books, you're like, oh, like back in the day, but no, she was right there.
One of my favorite posts is actually, so I guess some people felt some type of way about Akasha being black, and Jacob Anderson being black too. And so she went on Facebook and was like, fuck y'all, vampires can be black. Like, it was like
vampires can be anything.
Yeah. She's like, this is actually important for the community. And like, she really like popped off. And I was like, okay, girl, like 75 and like out here on Facebook. Like,
I love that.
I love
it.
Sorry, what were you going to say?
Oh no, I was just gonna say she's also like, I also love her universe as a queer person, because everybody is bisexual and
I feel like you kind of have to be.
Right. It's like, why wouldn't you be?
One, thousands of years. You think I'm sticking a one? No.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So like it just is like kind of like an idealized world, besides all the murder, I guess. But like it's kind of cool.
Whatever.
Like you're just, you know, you just are able to exist as you are. Because when a lot of women, especially women who were from an older time period, like Akasha, and then there's, you know, women that returned in like, you know, the 18th century, the 15th century, like the first thing they feel is like, oh wow, I have this freedom to be whoever I want, like no one can hurt me anymore. That fear I've always had is gone. And I was like, that was very profound, because I was like, wow, I never even thought about that, because that's just like something we just have, because there's so much danger coming at you just for existing as who you are, and then to become this like immortal, like all-powerful being. And you know, some of them like cut their hair, some of them dress in like men's clothes. It's like, it's an interesting little thing that's done, and I think a lot of vampire fiction doesn't really do that. So I don't know why, because it just makes sense. Like, why would you care? You know,
it goes back to like them being old. Like these other authors are not committing to the bit in the same way. Like she was like, what would they really do if they were turned in the 18th century? And these other people are like, they're gonna be modern vampires. They might be 150 years old, but they're gonna dress like regular people, and they're gonna have regular thoughts. And it's like,
they didn't do the research. They don't.
No, literally, quite literally. No. I saw her auction library. It was all nonfiction, like how to live in the dark ages. Like it was all. It was like,
Oh no, she loved her history and her ancient civilizations, and that like really came across. Like I learned a lot from her because like obviously I know this isn't fact, so I'm like, oh, let me go like research this a little bit more. And I'm like, oh, cool, thanks, Anne, for putting me on, because I would have never, done any research on this.
I do have to admit, for the longest time since we've been talking, when you guys have been saying Anne Rice, I swear I thought you were talking about Anne Rand, like the
Paul Rand's wife, or
Anne Rand, the
No,
author.
That awful lady.
I don't know who this is.
Look up her books later, but I was like,
no,
she's so multifaceted.
Oh
she's
my God.
vampire books and
no,
the other
somebody
books.
very different.
Okay, yeah. So like the longest time, I'm like, wait, no, that's somebody else. Paul Rand is named after, I think, anyway, she's like she's got very interesting thoughts.
She was like a eugenicist, right?
Yes,
like
she's got some wild thoughts and things, but that's what I thought you guys were talking about for the longest time.
Nonfiction. You're like, she really had facets.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, wow, really going at it.
Interesting.
It's the AR that was messing me
and
up.
that makes sense because this one died in 1982. So you're thinking,
yes,
like, what do you mean 2021?
That's 2020. I was like, what? It's like old.
That's so interesting.
That is so funny.
Very different people.
Yeah, for sure.
Good to know. Good to know.
That is so funny. I love that.
Oh man.
Wow.
Well, we don't really have a hyperfixation between me and you, but I will say you're from Jersey.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
And my hyperfixation is Joe Jonas.
I wasn't even gonna take it to the Jonas. I'm just saying.
Oh.
You're from Jersey. You have a Jersey accent, and I just love it. That's all. Like I wasn't even gonna take the Jonas route.
I've only really seen Kevin Jonas out at the mall, but that's it. So
yeah,
like
I'm sure he lives a normal life typically. When they weren't together. He said he was having like 5 different jobs and stuff, which I get, but I do love the accent.
Oh, thank you. Love it. I was like a little self-conscious of it, especially when I was like acting training, but I'm like, no,
please. Love it, live it.
Thank you.
It's great. And I love accents. I guess that's my hyperfixation, I guess.
God, guns and roll tide.
God, guns and roll tide, baby.
Oh God.
Hook 'em pigs.
Hook 'em and gig 'em.
We still have to do that Southern accent like podcast episode.
I know
that we were talking about.
We should go through the whole time.
Oh, I know I could. I
definitely could.
You're already doing it now. I know I could.
I know I could. So
all I got to say is,
all right. We gotta put a lid on that.
I want to talk in my accent.
You can.
Okay.
I will.
I will give it. It's my God-given right. It's my First Amendment right to speak how and what I want to speak. And I will. God and Trump gave me that ability to speak what I wanted.
Yeah.
But especially.
We know.
Thank you.
Got him.
We know. It's my alter ego. Oh man.
Oh, it's so funny.
Good times. Good times. Aaron, do you have anything to say about musicals?
Will I do? Oh, well, about musicals, we talked about musicals for a while.
We did. What's your other one?
I was going to talk about soccer.
Oh, yeah.
With Alexa, because
football.
That's that.
Football.
Huh?
I hear you got a winning team this year.
Yeah, for the past.
Oh, well, okay. I don't know that much. Aaron's like getting me there a little, but
yeah. Alexa is a longtime Liverpool FC supporter. And Liverpool right now is currently top of the table in the Premier League, the Champions League. They did just get out of. No, they have the second part of. Is that game? Did you watch the game yesterday?
I was at work, so I could not. But I'm glad I didn't, because I would have thrown things.
That was wild.
Frustrating.
So let me give you a rundown, people, because it was crazy. So Liverpool was playing this like not bottom of the table, but
It's our
not
rival. They're from Liverpool too. They're called Everton, but they're like across the way. Like they're not.
Yeah. So they're both Premier League teams, and so Liverpool is playing Everton, and Liverpool like scores one. The score is 2-1. Oh,
there we
here
go.
Here we go.
You'll never walk alone.
Yes. So it's 2-1, and then at the end, like 90 minutes has passed, and they always add extra time, and so it was like plus 7 or 8 minutes.
That's crazy.
And an Everton boy scores a goal. The crowd goes insane. They're like, oh my gosh. And he runs towards Liverpool fans and starts like mocking them kind of, and is like with his badge, or like his, whatever. And then a Liverpool player runs over, starts fighting him.
It was Curtis Jones, right?
I can't remember who it was.
He's
and then all of the players obviously like mobbed together to be like, like to break them apart, but also like fighting. And there were like 3 or 4 red cards that were shown that like after the game had ended. And so it like ended 2-2. But then is it Arnie or Arn?
Slot. Like Arn Slot, yeah.
Yeah. So the head coach of Liverpool, he goes up to like shake the hand of the ref who was like on the field, like running with them during the game. And he gives them this insane, like hard, like handshake. And the ref immediately goes to his pocket, shows him a red card, and is like, get out of here. Because Arn Slot was like, she's shaking her hand. And he's like, you did, like, he gave him the like hardest, heaviest like handshake. It was crazy. Anyway, so it was just a juicy, drama-filled game.
I don't think it's red card worthy if you have a strong handshake. You can't help that.
Yeah.
I don't know. That just seems like that ref had English refs, by the way.
They're crazy.
Like,
it's crazy.
If they don't like you, like it's apparent. Like they don't care. They're like, oh, being impartial. Absolutely. Not me.
There are many like scandals happening right now of like, oh, this person is paying the ref. Like, and they're like, what? No. But then like you're literally always winning, or literally always something's going your way. Like, what do you mean you're not paying the ref?
Or there's something going on.
There's always something sketchy going on. But yes, so Alexa's team is obviously Liverpool, mine's obviously Tottenham, and we played that one fateful day.
We don't have to talk about it.
We don't have to talk about it, and I've already ranted about it.
The Huskers are going through it this year. Mm-hmm. We know.
They are. We know. If you have a lot taken one thing out of this podcast the past few months. But yeah, so it's just a moment. Anyway, we have to get you to Liverpool sometime.
Because I was gonna go March 2020, but something came up.
Damn.
Yeah. I feel
it
that.
was like it was also so there is this player. His name is he's still alive.
He just got traded.
Still living. But so he came to Liverpool in 2007 from Spain, from Atletico Madrid. His name is Fernando Torres, and like he was adorable, amazing player. He was a striker, like a Liverpool, like, because in English, like in European soccer, they make up songs for like players they really love. He had an amazing song called the Torres Bounce. Like, loved him so much. Obviously I wanted to go to Liverpool to see him play because he was like my number one. And then I think in a previous episode, Erin, you explained about the January transfer window. I get like PTSD from February 2011 because Fernando Torres like had such a bond with Liverpool. He wrote a whole book about his like journey up until then. This is probably like 2008 or 9, and he was like, I will never play in another English club. Like, Liverpool's my heart. So it's like,
wow,
the betrayal's being
saying a lot.
Yeah.
So literally the last minute. So it was like probably like 3:00 our time or whatever on January 31st. I hear that Fernando Torres is being traded to Chelsea.
Boo.
And Chelsea, they were known for having plastic fans because it's in like a posher section of London, and like they don't have like, because a lot of these teams have like really rabid like homegrown fan bases, and like, you know what I mean. and Chelsea fans would just like come there on the weekend with their plastic flags and wave them, and they're owned, I think still, no, at the time they were owned by like this Russian oligarch who had like unlimited funds. I think he had to sell them because was in legal trouble. Roman Abramovich.
Oligarchs be like, I mean,
Russians be like,
I mean.
But anyway, that was such a heartbreaker, and I was at work and I cried. And I was like, because I was like, this is betrayal. This is betrayal. So yeah. Anyway, all that to say,
it's like worse knowing that you wanted to stay.
Right. And like at that time, Liverpool was not doing well, and the ownership was kind of like up in the air. So it was like a tumultuous time either way. But all that to say, when I was going to go in 2020, there was like, they have like a charity game every year, like Liverpool legends versus like other legends. And that year was going to be Barcelona legends. So there was cool Spanish players that were going to be there as well from like old Barcelona sides. And Fernando Torres was going to play for Liverpool. So I was like, oh, this is like my loophole. I could see him play for Liverpool. So I bought the tickets. I'm like, yes, I'm going to go. I have never been so happy about anything in my entire life. And then, 2020 happened, and I was like, sorry, guess I can't have dreams. Like, I don't know.
I can't have fun, happiness.
Not for me. But I'll get there,
Exactly.
You'll get there one day, and it'll be great, and can't wait to see the pictures.
We should go together, Erin.
Absolutely. I am going to Europe this coming fall, so pop.
Oh my gosh.
Pop in.
Yeah,
Pop in.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to fly because like planes are doing weird things these days.
Absolutely.
Also, I like never liked flying, so maybe I'll take go old school.
A boat.
Cruise.
Walk over.
I think I hate like thinking about the planes now and then cruises. I'm like, which do I hate more?
No,
I don't know because I hate cruises.
Yeah.
So,
take 8 days to get there instead of 6 hours.
Exactly.
Need another mode of transportation.
A light rail, baby.
Yeah.
Mark Zuckerberg, where you at with the
money?
Any of you. Come on.
Be useful.
Please.
Literally be useful.
People used to do stuff for people.
They used to.
The Rockefellers built the subway system in New York. I mean,
hello.
They used to mean something.
Exactly.
But now they just
poured the well.
They just poured it all,
Yeah, and they,
That takes me to my next point. No.
Speaking of
why aren't vampires rich?
They are.
Okay.
Carlisle's like the richest fictional character in
Carlisle from Twilight?
Yeah. I've seen tons of videos about this. He's the richest fictional
have
character
too.
in history besides like
really
one of the Donald Duck guys, one of them.
Donald Duck?
Scrooge?
Yeah.
Scrooge?
Wait,
the only richer
how much
fictional
money
character.
does he have?
Billions.
Carlisle?
Yes.
Why the fuck is he in Washington?
I don't. Well, have you seen the house? It's a nice house. Billions. Lestat's rich too.
And Edward's going to public school?
No, literally.
No, because they're weirdos.
That's the tea.
They're weirdos. Katie, I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
This just popped in my head. This is not going to mean anything to you, Adia or Erin. Apologies. We'll do this very briefly. Do you think, now that I'm thinking about it, do you think Carlisle or Marius is more sinister? They're both turning children and like courting wild.
Marius, he's the worst.
I don't know. I kind of like
Carlisle at least tries to help people. Marius is
just
not doing enough.
I don't know.
Billions of dollars.
Yeah. But no, I just hate Marius. He's the worst.
No, Marius sucks, but like Carlisle sucks too.
But Marius is like grooming the people he turns. Carlisle's just turning them, and then
he just wants family.
Yeah,
just get
by that, I guess.
He just takes dying children. And
there's definitely like some energy there. That's like, but it's definitely not the same energy. Like,
yeah, no, you're right.
Sucks. Billions of dollars, so you couldn't defeat the Volturi. I'm sorry.
Look, I don't know.
This is just like
we're just picking apart.
There's probably an essay video on it.
It's more mind-boggling than being a 6,000-year-old vampire is to have billions with a B and an S.
With a
B and an S.
Yeah.
And you're living in Washington with a bunch of teenagers.
Well, the sun doesn't come out there.
Help me understand.
But the sun doesn't hurt them though. So
they have to blend in. If they're in the sun and people see them, it's
Do
like
you know
exposure.
how mad I'd be if my dad was a billionaire and I had to go to public school? If I had to go to school, period.
Right.
Edward barely goes to school. Let's not.
See.
What are we doing? And they're playing baseball in a field. You could go buy a baseball stadium.
34 billion.
Because of the thunder.
I'm gonna send you a video later.
Please, because that's my tin hat now.
Start making sense, Stephanie.
Truly, he could have stopped 9/11.
He could have stopped a lot of things.
He's being selfish.
No, but so like a lot of an argument is people be like, oh, vampires could stop this, vampires could stop that. But in most other stories, vampires like don't care about humans enough, which is like fair. But the Twilight vampires do.
They do.
So
yeah.
Freaking Bella is like at the poverty line.
Well, okay, if you actually,
you know what I'm saying?
In the books, Edward is like dying to buy her things. He's like dying to buy her.
I remember, yeah.
And like, he's like, I would love to buy you a new car. And she's like, don't. And then
don't even ask, just do it. You have it.
They get engaged and she gets like the most expensive car on the planet. And then she's driving around town and people are taking pictures of her car because there's only one on the face of the earth because it's so expensive. But it's like the most, what's it called? Like protective vehicle. It's like an armored SUV with like bulletproof windows.
If I was Charlie, you're making me go work as the fucking sheriff or whatever. And
look, yeah. But yeah, he's like dying to buy her things in the
poor
book.
Jacob.
Speaking of this, going to another hyperfixation of billionaires in books, I would like to talk about why girlies who are again on the poverty level are like, no, I don't want your black card. No, I don't want your help. No, don't buy me. Like, don't pay off my mortgage. Like, what are we talking about?
Oh, they piss me off.
What we talking about?
Wait, what is this?
It's like it's a pretty big trope in like romance books where like he might be like a billionaire and she's like a regular girl, right? And he's like,
girl.
Here, take my Amex and like go shopping. And she's like,
buy yourself new clothes. Yeah.
It's
like, no, out of here.
So unreal.
It would also, I feel like it'd be so different if he didn't offer the money, but he's like, take the black card. And she's like, no. It's like,
he's like, let me pay for your medical bills or your like mom's medical bills. She's like, no, I have to do it myself. I'm like,
literally, you're below the poverty line. Her mom is in a severe medical debt. And he's literally billionaire. He's like, I will pay it off. And she's like, don't. I want to work for this.
Goes to works for like 4 jobs a day. And you're like,
yeah, and then to try to, this was crazy actually.
Yeah,
he ended up paying her to date him because she was like, I need a job, and he's like, no, but like I want to spend time with you, so like I will pay you for your time.
Prostitute, but she won't pay your mom's medical bills.
She said, work is
crazy. That book was crazy.
What book was that?
Was.
It's called Filthy Rich Vampires. It's so bad.
It was crazy. But the gag is we were hooked for 2 books.
So did I make it 2 or 3? At least
I don't think we read the 3rd one. I think we read the
I think it got too crazy.
We read the 2.
The other thing with that book is like she's a virgin.
Yeah.
Apparently they couldn't hook up because like if vampires hook up with virgins, like they go crazy.
They gotta stop making these rules. They gotta stop making things up.
No, so for the first like 2 books, like they get engaged. She's like paying for her whatever, like, and they're like, but we can't hook up.
She's horny as hell, and he's like, no, I can't.
He's like, she's like, are you telling me to go fuck someone else? And he's like, yeah.
Yeah, basically, I just need the first one out of the way, and then basically is what he says. He's like, I need the first time out of the way, and then, but then
it was like, what is happening in this universe?
I can't stand watching you. I couldn't stand watching you with someone else, or like the idea of you watching.
You wouldn't be watching.
It's crazy.
He might. It's crazy.
Really crazy. Oh, that universe. Maybe I'll go back for the 3rd one because it's
honestly.
unrealistic.
Now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, wait a minute.
So over the top crazy.
Yeah.
It's like who even thought of this?
God. I feel like I need to write a book now because I'm like, I didn't know this stuff was out there.
Honestly,
so literally,
that's wild.
The stuff that's out there. You'd be surprised.
The fact that like that's the most unrealistic thing, not the vampire, not the virgin. The fact that like
it's the black card and you're not taking it.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah, no, literally.
I'll see a vampire before I won't take any money. I'll tell you that.
They broke up because of the virgin thing, and she like sells all the clothes
to pay for her mom's medical bills.
Literally.
No, literally. And it's like he offered to do that anyway.
You didn't have to now be like no clothes, like nothing. Oh, and now your medical bills maybe are paid.
That one got me.
It was crazy.
You would never catch me. You don't have to ask me.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot.
No, I just put it in my card and I'll be like, okay, great.
I need you to
put it in my wallet.
Yeah. You need to.
I'm begging right now. Thank you.
Literally. Oh my god.
So funny.
Crazy.
I think another reason I like Anne Rice books is because the human vampire interactions are very limited.
Yeah.
So it's usually just like inter-vampire drama, which I enjoy better because sometimes with the humans, it's like it's gonna end only in two ways.
Yeah.
You're gonna become a vampire or you're gonna die. Like
yeah.
Why else would you want to talk to a human as a vampire? Like
boring.
So, exactly. Like you're mortal. Like I just gotta hold out. Like you're gone. You know what I'm saying? Like you're literally nothing.
Right.
Oof. So funny. Now I wish I was a vampire.
Same.
Oh, must be nice.
I take my nap, you know.
No, literally. Take my nap, make my money. That's all you gotta do.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd want to be a vampire, but
no?
I don't know.
Oh.
That's such an Armand answer.
I love the idea of a werewolf, though. Like, I would be a werewolf.
I knew it was coming. I was like to pop up. I knew it was coming.
Because they still die at a normal age. You know, I don't want to
transform all the time.
I mean, there are aspects of it being controlled. Like, think about Teen Wolf. They control it, and
they control it.
Yeah.
But they had other tendencies. Like they were just wild.
I would love to fight.
You would love to fight?
I would love to fight.
I mean, I'm fighting people these days.
Yeah.
We're full fighters.
Creeped me out at the movie theater, and I went up to him and I was like, "Are you gonna stand there the whole time? Or are you gonna sit down?" And he left the theater.
I love that energy.
Katie. I love it.
Like, why am I gonna sit here worried you're gonna shoot up this theater?
Literally.
Like, okay, listen. Okay. Yeah.
No.
Why am I gonna sit here for the next hour of Nosferatu pissed off at you when you should just sit down or leave? Like,
he was just cosplaying Nosferatu.
No, not.
I wanted to lurk in the dark.
I was gagged when he left. I was like, thank God.
You're like, please, thank you. Oh my God.
You're a hero.
Right now, yeah.
Oh man, he sees you there every week, so he's just like.
Oh my God.
Simulation.
I am there once a week, but now I'm doing 2 movies a day, so I'm only once a week.
Once a week, but 5 hours a day.
Yeah, exactly. It's fine.
Oh man,
it's another job. It's a part-time.
Literally. Just start a review channel, I think. At this,
no, I need to because I follow a lot and they're so interesting.
Yeah.
The Hats Off guy, I love him.
I feel like you should.
Anyway.
Truly. Okay, our It Boy of the Month. Someone start.
I feel like we just did this.
Okay, you also missed an episode, and then it's been a whole thing.
Damn. It Boy. I'm gonna let you guys go first. I gotta think.
Okay, I do have one. I didn't really have one this afternoon, but the more I thought about it, the more this. Oh my God, that scared me.
I was like,
yeah, this boy really came through for America this week, and it's gonna be Jalen Hurts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He really came through for everyone, and everyone was rooting for him and his all-female management team.
That's true.
And he came through for everybody, and we love him.
Yeah.
And he is so beautiful.
He is.
And 26. Who knew?
Yeah. Not me.
Not in a bad way, just like in a mature way, but yeah.
But he also looks like he's like 33.
That's true. Yeah. That's the aura.
He's still stunning, but he looks like he's 33.
Yeah. So yeah, that for me this week, he's popping up on my feed. Beautiful, amazing. We love him.
Yeah.
I can go next because I have a couple of boys of the month, I'm gonna be honest, but to connect to Katie's is another boy who has pretty much saved America this week, Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. Like, he is truly an it boy. Like, him in his Celine jeans, his whole halftime performance, his winning 5 Grammys, like, slay king. We love you. And then my other 2 it boys of the week are K-pop related. One is Jin Young from GOT7. Beautiful man. He's the one from our K-pop episode where Katie was like, wait, who's that? I need you to get him off the screen. He returned from the military and has just been blessing us. And then my man Kai came back from the military this week, and I've never felt more joy. Like, I seriously have been revived. So
you needed this.
I literally needed this, especially in like during Black History Month, like with the Grammys, the halftime performance, the world we're living in. I needed this. Who's next?
Not me.
Okay, Alexa.
Okay. I did have 3. One of them was actually Kendrick Lamar, so you covered that for me, Aaron. This is kind of Oscars related. I'm going to make my It Boy, one of my It Boys of the month, if I may have 2. One of them, Sebastian Stan, because he's nominated for The Apprentice, which I have not seen. I do want to see it, but it made a certain person in the Oval Office very upset, this movie. So I think it's iconic that he was nominated, and I hope he wins, because, that might make that guy lose his shit, which we always love. But he was also in another movie that was nominated, I think, for the BAFTAs or one of those awards, called A Different Man, which is currently on HBO, and it's a very, very good movie. And I just want to shout that movie out, because I feel like a lot of people haven't seen it. Also love Bucky Barnes, love The Winter Soldier. So I didn't watch Gossip Girl, I heard he was good on that, but I just want to give Sebastian Stan a little bit of love. And he also, to tie it back into vampires, Chloe Zhao is apparently wanting to adapt Dracula, and he's expressed interest in playing Dracula, which would be iconic because he is Romanian, and so is Vlad the Impaler, who Dracula is based on. So that would be really cool. And then we talked about my second It Boy, who is a fictional character a lot this episode, Lestat de Liancourt. He is the It Boy. He is the moment. He is also a fictional character, but he is the vampire. And I hope all of you who haven't watched Interview with the Vampire watch it. If you need my AMC login, I will provide it for you as a public service. But the performance Sam Reed gives is amazing. So I think it's definitely worth checking out. And he also, Lestat, the fictional character, also pissed off the Swifties because
that was so crazy. I forgot about that.
This was so unhinged. So there was like a teaser from Comic-Con for season 3, which is when he becomes the rock star. So they had like it's a great little teaser. It's him being like interviewed in his like rock star attire. And then they cut to the song they wrote which is a great song that's going to be one of his singles during the season, I'm assuming. And there was like a montage of him like crashing out and crying, which like Lestat is famous for, and why I relate to him a lot, because I will crash out over nothing as well. So he's like, in different states of crying, or like, whatever, looking, disheveled and disarrayed. And a lot of Swifties were like, wow, this is just like that whatever video, I don't know. And they were like, wow, women can't have anything. And they like literally tried to start a beef with a fictional vampire.
Like,
and
they
I
were
was like,
really going crazy online about it. The Interview with the Vampire people were quiet, but all the Swifties were like on one about it.
Please.
And I was like, literally read a book in this case, because this is
read a book.
This is an adaptation.
Literally read a book.
Character. Yeah, which
he existed before Taylor Swift was even born.
Literally, he became a rock star in 1985. Okay,
exactly.
So some people are not new to this; they're true to this. So yeah, those are my It Boys.
I love.
Has that given you enough time?
Not really. I haven't really done much this month. Yeah. I mean, it's only halfway through the month, so I feel like I needed more time for this. But it
comes around every month.
I know, but it's like, jeez, it just happened. I mean, I don't want to be generic here, but
I know when hockey's on a break, it's
boring. Hockey's on a break. It's just like not a lot going on. So I'll say my It Boy for the last 2 for this week. I really won't say for the month, but like the last week, Connor Bedard. He was interviewed. So Connor Bedard is a hockey player, and he was like first round pick last year, but he went to a really shitty team. He went to the last team in the league, because that's usually how it happens. The worst team gets the first pick, but like the team still sucks. And one of the hockey people, personalities, whatever, basically it was like, Connor Bedard's playing like trash, like he's not playing like he's in the NHL, like basically playing like he's playing like pond hockey or whatever. And a bunch of interviewers were asking Connor Bedard, like, what do you think about what he has to say about that? He's like, I don't need someone on TV to tell me I'm doing bad or whatever. But then he, like, just the little comment he made, he was like, I don't need some guy that like just some random ass like old man to tell me what I'm doing. And all these people just like went crazy on Twitter of like, how dare you talk bad about Connor Bedard? Like, he made as many goals as you made your entire career. Like, just like all of this stuff. Like, people were just sticking up for him and stuff. And I mean, the kid's 19 years old. Like,
I feel like just any sport, like that guy probably didn't even think it was going to gain traction, because like there's hundreds of hockey podcasts and broadcasts and all this stuff. So it's like, for that one thing to be picked up is kind of interesting.
I know,
like,
but I mean,
was he like a commentator? Was he like, or is he like a podcast host?
used to play hockey, and then he became like a commentator like on like the Canadian like TV thing, and then they had the podcast, which is like the biggest hockey podcast or whatever, so like people listen to him and stuff. But he was just like going in on like he should know better, like he's making all these mistakes, he's doing all these things, and then they're asking him about it in the locker room after the game, and Connor's just like,
he's like, we just got brutally destroyed. What do you mean?
Yeah,
yeah.
He's like, I literally don't need you to tell me that I'm doing that.
I get it.
Like, I know. And yeah, but I just thought it was just not nice, but like he's sticking up for himself at like 19, and like, you know, basically he was like, bro, I'm better than you at like your height. Like, just shut up.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so good for him.
Love. We can move into another thing we love, our loves and icks.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, I have them ready. Let me see. I'm gonna start with my
mine are in screenshots, so give me a second.
Of course.
I know, I'm not moving forward this time.
I'm gonna start with my icks and go to my loves, although I don't have many. Okay, one of my icks this week. Okay, over the weekend, I slept on my neck wrong, and then it was like for 3 days I could not move my neck.
I literally hate when that happens.
I was shocked, appalled, upset.
Yeah, you're like,
I was walking around literally like Batman, like
Batman.
It was a nightmare. I literally hated every second of it. Okay, I walk every day, usually during lunch from work or whatever. And today I was seemingly followed home from my walk. I hate that. I literally hate it. Scott has ordered me a taser that's gonna be here tonight.
Honestly. Wow.
But yeah, so whatever. That's like not ideal. The other thing about my walk is sometimes I don't like living at sea level. It's been raining for 3 days.
Yeah.
My whole neighborhood is flooded. Just flooded everywhere. Sidewalks, roads, the park, everything. So not ideal. My loves, I just got one. I got a new favorite TikToker. His name's Preacher Man. He has 900 followers and he does Dallas Star game reviews.
There we go. There we go.
Within like 5 minutes of game ending, he's got a TikTok up, and he's got some interesting commentary. Just as like a guy who watches the game. So
I love that.
I've been living for him. He was like, I don't know what I'm going to do during the break, but he ended up doing Canada. Literally. He's like, I guess I'll do the Four Nations and talk about it. Yeah, I like skipped through it. I'm like, yeah, it's kind of boring. He's like, yeah, same, but whatever. We'll see.
Yeah, same, but we move on.
I love
him.
I love that.
I gotta say mine before I forget, because half of them are in my head and the other half are shots.
Go ahead.
So my loves for this week: one, this Bad Baby and Alabama Barker drama. I am living for it. I love when two white girls are just going at it. Like, it gives me like just so much joy. But Bad Baby, basically Alabama Barker hooked up with Bad Baby's baby daddy, and then Bad Baby got back with her baby daddy, and she's like, fuck you, Alabama, like, you think you can take my baby daddy, like, you're not taking him. And then Alabama was like, girl, I didn't even want him, I didn't even know him, blah blah blah, whatever. They're just going back and forth, and then Alabama drops a diss track.
Oh, interesting.
Actually pretty good. I'm not going to lie. It's not, it's no Kendrick level, but like the ghostwriter definitely had like some spots in there. So
with
Bad Baby went on live and was like spilling tea. She's like, I know every man that you have sex with, everyone says, like, it is so funny. Like, it is. She's like, this isn't Danielle, this is Bad Baby now. Like, you.
It's like the mask is on, like, let's go.
Literally, she's like going ham on live, and it's just been like the greatest thing ever, going back and forth, because she's like, your daddy pays for everything. Anyway, I'm just living for it. My other screenshot.
Wait, it's Alabama Barker, Travis Barker's daughter?
Yeah, it's the one.
She's old enough to be doing all this stuff?
She's like, literally like 18.
Yeah.
18 or 18 or 19,
yeah.
Jesus. All right.
Okay, here we go. My other love for this week is Jasmine Crockett being the only Democrat with a spine going out and saying what we're all saying. So I love that.
Yeah.
Can't find my other screenshot, but that's okay. And then my other love for this week is that Katie and I decided that we're going on a fucking road trip to Jersey next weekend within a span of like
12 hours.
Yeah. And we're going to see the Devils and the Dallas Stars play for literally less than 12 hours round trip to Jersey. So really looking forward to it. What I don't love though is that I literally asked my mom before we got tickets, can you watch Feeny?
Oh no.
She's like, yeah, we'll do it. And then today I'm like, okay, we'll see you next weekend. She's like, oh, what are you coming up for? I'm like, sis.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, I didn't know you got the tickets. I'm like, I was on the phone with you.
You sent me the link.
You sent me
I
the
said,
link. She's like, clear your sketch.
Yeah, right.
Katie and I are not going to be here.
Tickets are bought.
Tickets are like, regardless, I'm going.
Yeah.
So figured that one out. And then my ick for the week, Pete Davidson got all of his tattoos removed, and someone said he looks like a hermit crab out of his shell, and now I can't unsee it, and
I saw Chipotle tweeted, was like, oh, our ex Chipotle bag.
Oh no.
I hate it. I mean, good for him. Like, he looks so healthy and better, but like, it really says something about me. The fact that I think he's like attractive with like just tons of tattoos and looks like a degenerate.
It's interesting because with all the tattoos and stuff, like there was always that, and people, he got tattoos for like Ariana or whatever, and then fucking branded for Kim. Like, what's he gonna do with that? Yeah. Like, the tattoos are going. Yeah. What's he gonna do with that? That's what I want to know. I
don't know, but that's for
a later time.
That's a later time, but I don't like how he's looking. I will say that. Separate. He looks too clean and he looks too normal.
So the thing is, he needs a spray tan. Because when he was stepping out with Kim, they had him on
exactly.
So without the tattoos, he needs that too.
Exactly.
We need something.
We need that.
We need something, because
it's not it. And then, sorry, my last ick is that I did my taxes, but because I am taking the child tax credit, it doesn't get processed until like a certain date.
No.
Because those are like the last people that get them or whatever. So I've literally been on TikTok. I've been on Twitter. I've been on just trying to figure out if there's any clue of when this is going to happen, because I need it. So
cut to New Jersey next weekend. Okay.
No. Luckily I get paid the day before. So that's not a problem, but it's like, what happens after New Jersey? Yeah, that's the real question.
Right.
That's so funny.
Exactly. When we get back at midnight and reality sets in.
Yes.
And you're like, when the trip ends, and you're just
plasma, here I come. But no.
Okay, my loves and icks. Let's see. What do I want to start with? One of my loves, my Beyonce ticket is secured, ladies. Knock on wood, my Ticketmaster luck has been amazing recently, and I logged in the first like pre-sale day 3,000, and then I saw people getting like number 30,000, and I was like, thank you. Thank you, I needed this win. Obviously the ick that goes with that is how much money I spent on Beyonce tickets, but I'm section 100 like at the SoFi Stadium and not 5 miles away in 600. So like, what are we talking about? My other love is that Kai has returned. Like, I said he was the it boy, but I just need to talk about it more. He returned last weekend, and then on Tuesday they had like this live. Obviously it was at 3 a.m. because it was like nighttime in Korea. I was up. I was hello?
Sad.
YouTube like on my phone, and I like the screen like popped up to him, and then he just started laughing, and I was like, oh my god, this just laugh, because I haven't heard it in 2 years because he's been away and in the military. And so it was just a good time. Like, the king of K-pop is back, the K in K-pop is back, like we're here. And then my icks, how much I paid for the Beyonce tickets, and then a lot of people's takes on the halftime show, specifically my dad's, but a lot of people's who are agreeing with him. And I was like, you guys need to open your eyes, read a book. Like, what are we talking about that you thought Kendrick's whole set was about Drake? Like, what are we talking about?
More.
Like, there was so much more, and you just needed to take 1 second and look. But they're like, they worst halftime ever. Like, how dare he? Like, he had this platform to like spread a positive message, yet he was just talking about Drake. I was like, for one part of one song,
literally.
I was like, what do you mean? Like, I've watched that Super Bowl or that halftime performance like every day since it happened, for like 5 times a day. Like, it's so good, and each time I'm seeing something different. But I'm like, what show were you watching? Because it's not like you guys are making it sound like he did not like us on repeat.
Yeah.
And was just like, say Drake, say Drake, say Drake, like that whole time. And I was like, what? And they were like, his music, he raps too fast. Like, I can't understand him. I was like, Kendrick Lamar is one of the clearest rappers there is. His enunciation is like on point, and he does that so people can hear exactly what he's saying and to get the message that he's putting out. Also, the man won a Pulitzer Prize. Moving on.
Yeah.
It's just crazy, but I've just been heated with that. But I do love all the think pieces that have been coming out about it and people being like, also, did you notice this? Also, did you notice this? Because I'm like, no, I didn't notice that. Thank you for pointing that out. But yeah, those are mine.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. As a fan of the podcast, I took this very, very seriously. I will start with my ex because, like, you know, let's get that out of the way. You know, just the state of everything is a big ick. We've touched on that throughout the podcast. Yeah. There was also, I don't know if you guys remember drones in Jersey, and like I don't think that was ever really resolved. They said something that was unsatisfactory, and like that sounds like a lie. Like I used to watch X-Files, whatever. That brainworms guy got confirmed, which I don't love.
He did?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like to use their names because like I just don't want to give them the attention they so desperately seek. But yeah,
you're fucking kidding me.
No, but yeah, so that's something. We need to like seek out vampirism, I think, because that might be the only way to save us, honestly, at this point. My last ick is giving time and energy to these people because we have to pay attention, but also it's like I want to live my life. I want to find joy. I want to be positive. I want to think the world isn't ending every day, but it's like you got to give us a break. You got to give us our tax credits.
Like,
you gotta
give me
us affordable eggs or whatever. I don't even know. Like, anyway, that's the time and energy I want to give to that. Now on to the loves. My number one love is being invited on the show. That is, I was very, very honored, and I'm so happy you guys had me, and I had so much fun. I'm also in like a perfume discovery moment. I realized like I love scents, and I've been, you know, finding where on the scent spectrum I thought I liked woodsy, earthy stuff, but I'm finding out I really like gourmand scents, which is like sweet, kind of like savory, sweet kind of scents. My favorite perfume is currently called Pistachio Latte, and it smells just how it sounds. So that's fun. And I think maybe if acting doesn't work out, I could be a perfumer. Those are both very easy careers to break into, I'm sure. And my last love is having friends to hyperfixate with. And let me nerd out and not being like, oh wow, this is a weirdo, let's not talk to them. So thank you for having me and talking about all the stuff I love. And yeah, those are my loves.
Wow.
Yay.
That was so wholesome.
That
Literally.
Great.
That's me.
Truly. Well, we've loved having you, and like it's been so fun to chat and just yap about all these different things, good or bad, you know. Thank you so much for coming. Like, truly loved it. Thank you. Everyone, thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. If you've sat through it this far, don't forget to subscribe to us and follow us wherever you listen to podcasts. Bye.
Bye.